Good evening, I'm Joel Benji and welcome to RDC UK TV News. Tonight, we bring you the Parliament's debated from Tuesday, the 25th of February 2025, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, an M23 group. Question: Lord Harries of Pentragarth. Shareth's specific contribution to ask His Majesty's government what is their response to reports that Rwandan troops are supporting the M23 group in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Column 1578 is located here. The Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State, Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, Lord Collins of Highbury. Labour. Shareth's specific contribution. My Lords, the United Kingdom condemns the recent M23 and Rwandan Defence Force advances in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as an unacceptable breach of DRC's sovereignty. On 22nd February, the Foreign Secretary met with President Kagame and was clear that there can be no military solution. The United Kingdom today announced several policy measures, which we will maintain until there is a withdrawal of all RDF from the Congolese territory. Lord Harries of Pentragarth, CB. Shareth's specific contribution. I thank the Minister for his reply. It has recently been reported that 7,000 people were killed during January, and 450,000 people have been displaced from about 90 camps. According to reports, the M23 intends to advance right across to Kinshasa. Is it not totally unacceptable for one country to support a rebel group in a neighbouring country? What steps are the government taking in relation to the United Nations and the African Union to bring this conflict under control before it gets totally out of hand and engulfs the whole of an already fragile DRC? Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Share this specific contribution. Noble Lords will appreciate what I have reported before. Right from day one, we have been engaged with President Lourenço of Angola to ensure that there is a process to achieve long-lasting peace in the region. That is long overdue because the internally displaced people are numerous and suffering hugely. These recent advances create an even worse situation. On Friday, I was pleased to talk to the ministers in Dar es Salaam, who were hosting the EAC-SADC summit, which produced a communiqué towards peace in the region and set out a very clear roadmap to achieve the withdrawal. Our concern is that the Rwandans have not fully complied with that, which is why we have made the announcement today of the measures we are taking, along with our allies, to ensure that they respond to that African-led peace process. Lord Callanan, Con, Shareth's specific contribution. My Lords, the Minister will be aware that the UK has given more than £1 billion in development aid to Rwanda in recent years. As has been said, evidence is mounting that Rwandan troops are heavily involved in the fighting in DRC. Is it not increasingly difficult to justify this funding when the Rwandan government themselves are spending so much time, energy and money intervening militarily in a sovereign neighbouring state? Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Shareth's specific contribution. The Noble Lord's previous government reached an agreement to give substantially more money to Rwanda. We want to ensure that these measures achieve what they set out to do, to ensure that Rwanda commits to the peace process led by the African Union. The important point here is that our focus for development assistance is on those most in need. The measures that we announced today, I was able to convey these to the Foreign Minister of Rwanda in Geneva this morning at the Human Rights Council, are as follows. We will cease high-level attendance at events hosted by the government of Rwanda. We are freezing trade promotion activity with Rwanda. We are reviewing our existing trade infrastructure in facilitation projects. Toggle showing location of column 1579, and we are pausing direct bilateral financial aid to the government of Rwanda. We are excluding from this our support for the poorest and most vulnerable, which is not direct support. We are committed to that. We are also coordinating with partners on potential sanctions designations and suspending future defence training assistance to Rwanda. Our position is absolutely clear. Lord Brown of Ladyton, Lab. Sharethis specific contribution, my lords. Lord Purvis of Tweed, LD. Sharethis specific contribution, my lords. Captain of the Honourable Corps of Gentlemen at Arms and Chief Whip, Lord Kennedy of Southwark, Lab Co-op. Sharethis specific contribution. We will hear from my noble friend Lord Brown and then from the Liberal Democrat benches. Lord Brown of Ladyton, Lab. Sharethis specific contribution. My lords, my right honourable friend the Foreign Secretary warned that the conflict in the DRC risks spiralling into a regional conflict. It is already a humanitarian crisis, with 40,000 refugees fleeing to Burundi alone, the largest influx that country has had in 25 years. Are we contributing to the UNHCR's $40.4 million appeal to provide life-saving assistance to 275,000 internally displaced people in the DRC and to support refugees and returnees across Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda and Zambia? Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Sharethis specific contribution, my noble friend, makes a very good point. The real risk was that this was going to create regional instability, which is why we not only supported the Luanda process, but very much welcomed the convening of the SADC-EAC meeting in Dar es Salaam last week, which set out a very clear process. He is absolutely right to draw attention to the huge humanitarian cost of 2.7 million people displaced, IDPs in Eastern DRC. The United Kingdom is the leading humanitarian partner in DRC and the second largest donor in the country, allocating over £62 million for this financial year for humanitarian programs in Eastern DRC. I also take seriously my responsibility as the envoy for the prevention of sexual violence in conflict. That is a huge risk at the moment, and we are devoted to supporting survivors of sexual violence in that region. We are not going to rest until we ensure that all parties are focused on that agreement reached in Dar es Salaam at the end of last week. Lord Purvis of Tweed, LD. Sharethis specific contribution. My lords, during the passage of the Illegal Migration Bill and the Safety of Rwanda Bill, I asked the previous government for details, but failed to get them, of the £240 million Economic and Integration Fund that the previous government gave to Paul Kagame's government. Can the Minister assure me that not a single penny of UK money has gone to non-humanitarian assistance in Rwanda, and especially the £20 million credit line provided to Paul Kagame's government for preparation of facilities that were not then needed? How much money are we getting back from his government? Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Sharethis specific contribution. The noble Lord knows that we stopped that agreement immediately when we came into office. We are absolutely clear that we have ceased all payments in respect to it and will not return to making any of those payments. But we are determined to support those most vulnerable and most in need, and we will continue to do that. Lord Alton of Liverpool, CB. Sharethis specific contribution. My lords, can the Minister tell us what happened in Kasanga, in Kivu, on Thursday last, when 70 people were hacked to death with machetes and hammers by an organisation that is said to be linked to ISIS as they took refuge in a church? What are we doing to confirm those reports? Have we raised this with the International Criminal Court and the African Union to ensure that those responsible for this terrible atrocity are brought to justice? Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Share this specific contribution. My lords, is the Minister aware that it is not just a question of regular Rwandan troops being embedded in M23? There are now special forces involved as well, and there is overwhelming evidence that war crimes have been committed on both sides. I congratulate the Minister on the very robust set of measures he announced. The government deserve credit for this. He mentioned SADC, but can he say what he is doing with the AU? Its offices can also be very useful in trying to find a way forward. The noble lord is right to draw that to our attention, but the reality is that we are trying to ensure that all crimes committed in the process of this advance are properly investigated so that we can hold people to account. When I met the Foreign Minister of Rwanda this morning in Geneva, he denied all these accusations and refuted the story in The Guardian. I reassured him that we would be absolutely determined not only to ensure that they comply with the communiqué, but to hold people to account for crimes against humanity. Lord Bellingham, Con. Sharethis specific contribution. Lord Collins of Highbury, Lab. Sharethis specific contribution. The noble lord is absolutely right. When we committed to the Luanda process, we were not sure exactly what steps we could achieve in the final outcome. President Lorenzo assured me about what he was trying to achieve. We cannot restore trust, but we can build confidence at each stage. Unfortunately, the 15th December summit did not take place. Things fell apart, and we saw the advances. Now, as I said, SADC and the EAC have come together in Dar es Salaam, overseen by the African Union. They are taking the lead. The African Union has also appointed 3 facilitators to ensure that the process is moved forward in a much more consistent and coherent way. Lord Anderson of Swansea, Labour. Share this specific contribution. My lords, is there not a danger of contradictory policies? A country invades its neighbour. Its forces carry out human rights atrocities and take several cities. We rightly condemn what Russia is doing in Ukraine. Should we not be equally robust in respect of a Commonwealth country, Rwanda? Column 1581 is located here. Lord Collins of Highbury, Labour. Sharethis specific contribution. My noble friend is absolutely right. We have been clear with all allies, including the United States, in condemning this absolute breach of DRC's sovereignty. We are making it clear that it is unacceptable. We and our allies have taken coordinated action so that Rwanda commits to the process it has agreed to and delivers the long-lasting peace that the people of DRC so deserve.